Hello everyone, this is Professor Rashada Rajput. Today we are going to discuss regarding company law. Now, company law is one of the core subjects from the stream of business law. We'll see that how the word company has been introduced in India. Now, we can say that when Queen Elizabeth issued her charter, that is into 1600, when they have entered into India via Surat, via the waterway, and first of all they have met to the king of Surat and they have introduced charter 1600, which was comprising the rules and regulation how the company is going to behave and how the company will start trading into India. And through East India Company, they have started their business. So, the word company has been introduced in India through the Britishers, but from 1600, that time we were not aware about what company is exactly and how this company is dealing with the business, with the employees, which is turnover and everything. Gradually we have accepted all these things, we have accepted the law, and then we have amended it to the own scenario of India. Now we can say that how the company has been emerged. It's a long history, but as we have already well versed with the main act of company, that was in 1956. The first act was, and that was a biggest statute in Indian statute in India. It was contained more than 667 sections. But after certain years, that is in 2013, the whole act has been amended. And then that act is swept away and they have reduced those sections, and right now it is 487 sections are there available in the statute, Companies Act. Further also it has been amended in 2015 and 17 too, the recent amendment. Now, if we go through 1956, we could see that it was not so business friendly one, and so many lengthiest process has to be done by the company rather than focusing on business. So they all have been reduced, and it was comprehensively they have made Act of 2013. Now we go through it that how the company has been, how this company runs and how the company is incorporated. For the incorporation, the first thing is company should get the documents. What it requires, that memorandum of association, it is the main, or we can say it is the main document of the company, where through that document company gets the incorporation certificate. Now according to this, we can say that what contains, there are various clauses are there under memorandum of association, because after incorporation it will be considered as a public document. It is open for the public at large to read that what exactly the kind of business is going on, how many members are there, how many shareholders are there, everything is mentioned under memorandum of association. Now, first of all, promoter is there, one who promotes the company, one who makes or one who deals all these things. Later on it is incorporated, and after incorporation certificate, receiving of incorporation certificate, the company gets, it is nothing but a license a company got to commence the business. As soon as the incorporation is done, company can commence its business. Now we can say that incorporation is nothing but a registration. Incorporation is a process of registration of a company through the ROC, Registrar of Company, and through the person one who wants to. Now in 2013, it was only two kinds of company, that is private company and public company, but 2013 Act has introduced one more additional kind of a company, that is OPC, one person company. One person company where it requires no more than one person to incorporate the company. What is the definition of company? It is very simple. A company which has been registered under the Companies Act. Now, the Companies Act here, according to definition, is silent regarding the year, because previously there are n numbers of Companies Act has been introduced, enacted, and later on gradually with the change of the society and with the need of changes, it has been amended. So all those companies, those who are registered or incorporated under those Companies Act, that doesn't mean that they are not existing. They are existing. They are doing business, and their business is already in a good condition or good position. So those companies are also considered as a company. Only if you formulative they have to complete with the new guidelines. So they are doing that also. Only the incorporation certificate they have received from some other act. Now, according to those Companies Act, it is specially mentioned that what are the kinds of companies. Generally, there are private and public companies there, but before that, we can say that there is government company also. Government company means a company a government company is a company wherein 51% share of government. So those companies are considered as government company. Rest of the companies are non-government, or those who are funded by the government. It is considered as they are the government company. Now we can say that government companies may be public or private. It is not necessarily government company is a different thing. It is also considered as it is either a public company or a private company. There is also a chances from making private company into public company, and it is very easy to make it by just addition or increasing the number of members, number of the shareholders, number of the directors, number of the shareholders. All these things has to see, and increasing of the capital, then private company can be converted into the public company. But a public company, to convert it to the private, it takes much time, because reduction of shareholders, reduction of members, reduction of directors, it is not much easy. Now we go through that what are the kinds of company, private company and public company. Private company is always either it is OPC, that is one person company, or it may be 2 person or 2 member will be there, or more than 2 member will be there, but not more than 200 member. It is the limit of the private company. Public company, there are more than 3 members or more than 3 members would be considered at the time of incorporation as a public company. Then number of directors. 2 directors are compulsory for registration of private company, which is not OPC. For OPC only one member, one director is enough. Yet it is a private company, but not OPC. So and public company, there should be 3 directors must be there, and 3 members will be there, and 7 directors will be there. 7 directors must be there for public company, for incorporation of a public company. See, before incorporation of a company, memorandum of association has to disclose all these particulars, like how many members will be there, how many shareholders will be there, how many directors would be there. Everything must be precisely mentioned into the memorandum of association, just to get incorporation as being a private company or a public company. And name clause is specifically mentioned that in the name clause it must be written limited for public company, and in case of private company it is private limited. So this should be particularly mentioned in the company's memorandum of association. Now what comes under memorandum of association? Memorandum of association, it comprises with the certain clauses like name clause. Name clause means what should be the name? Name is nothing but an identity or recognition of each and every person. As company is an artificial person, of course it should have a name, just to recognize into the society or in an artificial manner, as well as in the eyes of law. Now any name can be given, but it should not be the same name of already has been registered. Again, it should not be inclusive of king, queen, empire, emperor, empress. These kind of things it should not be mentioned into the name, because it is against the Names and Emblems Act. Now, Names and Emblems Act specifically mention all these things. So, whenever a proposal has to be sent to the ROC, he has to check all these things, verified, then he approves the name, and then it is clear. But in case if the name is already been registered with other company, so in that case ROC has a right to give a choice or to suggest a name. So either company is accepting it or not, that is another thing. So this is a name clause. Now we'll see registered office clause. Registered office clause means where the office of the company will be registered on a particular place. Now it may be possible that the registered office may be at different place, and the company may do its business at a different place. Registered office is where all the books and records are kept in a particularly safe place, that is a registered office. It is as well as it is not necessary that all business or all the employees or the managing director they should sit in a registered place. It is not necessary. Then we can see that this is a registered clause. Then capital clause. Earlier it was compulsory to disclose what should be the capital of a company. Now it is not necessary to disclose what capital of company must be.